lawyer has just schooled Fanni Willis. This is getting wild here, guys. We also got news from Justice Thomas of the Supreme Court raising some crucial questions about the legitimacy of special counsel Jack Smith's prosecution of Donald Trump. But so here you have Fulton County District Attorney Fanni Willis. She is now in retreat mode after what Donald Trump's legal team did, which is led by Steve the Pitbull Sadow. Oh yeah, guys. All right, so former President Donald Trump's legal team, Steve the Pitbull Sadow, as well as Jennifer Little, may have just schooled Fanni Willis yet again by what they did was they filed a supplemental brief supporting the dismissal of 2 counts against him in the Georgia election interference case. Now, in a legal move that some say Donald Trump's supporters are calling absolute genius, brilliant strategy. In fact, the brief argues that the state of Georgia cannot punish someone for committing a crime in a federal judiciary, like lying under oath, for example, because that actually falls under the jurisdiction of the federal government, not of the state. Now, I just want to take a second and just thank you guys for always hitting the like button for these videos. You guys are absolutely amazing. I really appreciate you guys. Also, I want to thank you guys so much for sharing these videos on Facebook and Twitter. Happy Saturday, everyone. Happy Saturday, Catalia, KO Seri. I'm lurking, Ruggin62. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining me in the live. All right, so offering her expert perspective, we've got former U.S. Attorney Joyce Vance speculated about how the Fulton County District Attorney Fanni Willis might actually react to the former president's latest move. It is literally a bombshell move and brilliant execution by Donald Trump's legal team, guys. So she called Steve Sadow's legal theory novel and actually said that it looked like a delay tactic, something that could very well work in Donald Trump's favor, considering he could actually win the presidency by November's time and take care of all of this by that point. Now, Vance also predicted that Fanni Willis's response to this new brief is likely going to be dismissive, like we've seen from Fanni Willis time and time again, probably going to be doing something like this. I can't believe Steve Sadow did this to me. Anyway, have a seat, Fanni. Have a seat on your fanny. Anyway, so Fanni Willis is predicting that Willis's response is going to be dismissive, to say the least, meaning Fanni Willis could very well be in retreat mode, which makes a lot of sense, though. But you might be wondering, why am I saying this, right? Well, for starters, you've got the media outlets, and they've been trying to reach Fanni Willis's office. They've been contacting Fanni Willis's office about this, but the Fulton County DA has yet to return her comment on the matter. Could it be because Fanni Willis has realized her mistake in trying to even prosecute former President Donald Trump? Another sign of Fanni Willis's retreat, well, she declined an invitation from the Atlanta Press Club to debate her Democratic opponent as she seeks a second term. Remember, Fanni Willis's position is a position you have to be elected into. She needs the votes, just like Donald Trump is going to need the votes in a few months. And she even used Donald Trump's trial as the very reason why she's doing so, saying that her participation means likely repeatedly being unable to respond to questions, as well as risking saying something that the defense counsel could very well make an issue in going forward in the ongoing litigation that they're dealing with right now with the Donald Trump trial. Translation: Fanni Willis is scared that her words may likely be used against her, like with her church speech, where she used the race card in order to try to gain some sympathy from the people. Yeah, that backfired big time right in her face. And last but not least, Fanni Willis asked the appeals court to reject Donald Trump's latest efforts to see her thrown off the Georgia election interference case. Matter of fact, her office basically asked and begged the appeals court, please reject former President Donald Trump's request to reconsider a ruling last month that would allow Fulton County District Attorney Fanni Willis to essentially continue leading the case with his attempts to interfere with the 2020 presidential election of the state. So this is This is pure desperation at its finest. In fact, Fanni Willis is asking the appeals courts to do that. By doing that, you got to ask, though, does this mean that she's not confident in her chances to beat Donald Trump in the appeal? Like, why else would you almost grovel and throw yourself before the court unless you were confident that you would be fine and you would remain on this case? If you're begging the courts to please keep you on this case, you must know something is about to get unveiled. And it wouldn't be the first time for Fanni Willis, would it? Now, I want to thank y'all for hitting the like button. A lot of you guys in here. I see Brenda Jackson, Guadalupe Rubino, Melissa Fountain. Awesome, guys. Awesome. So here we go, guys. So I definitely want to explore this just a little bit with you guys. But first, just a real quick rundown of this genius move that Donald Trump's legal team has successfully pulled off. Take a listen.
Former President Trump's legal team has filed a supplemental brief supporting the dismissal of 2 counts against him in the Georgia election interference case. According to the brief, the state of Georgia can't punish someone for committing a crime in a federal judiciary, like lying under oath, because that falls under the jurisdiction of the federal government, not the state. Count 15 alleges a conspiracy to fine. Count 27 alleges the filing of false documents in an exclusive federal tribunal, the U.S. District Court for the Northern District, not in a public record or court of the state of Georgia. A Fulton County grand jury indicted the former president and 18 others last.
Yeah, and like many Trump supporters have already said, Steve the Pitbull Sadow is not one to be reckoned with. As a matter of fact, they say that the Pitbull is a legal genius, and yeah, Trump for life. So according to this brief from Sadow and from Little, the state of Georgia cannot punish someone for committing a crime in a federal judiciary. And so, this includes lying under oath, because this falls under the jurisdiction of the federal government. This is outside the scope of Fanni Willis's reach. So much like DA Alvin Bragg, why are you bringing up or even attempting to prosecute cases that are outside your jurisdiction? This is a pattern that we've continued to see time and time again. So absolutely wild what these DAs continue to do. These DAs continue to behave as if they can just do whatever they want to do. Unbelievable, right? And so this supports the dismissal of 2 counts against former President Donald Trump in the Georgia election interference case. So you got count 15, which alleges a conspiracy to fine, and count 27, which alleges the filing of false documents in an exclusive federal tribunal, the United States District Court of the Northern District, not in a public record of court in the state of Georgia. And so now they've even gotten legal precedents to bolster their case even further. So the brief actually cites the case of in Loney in their arguments. Essentially, in simple terms, the court ruled in that particular case that the charges contravened federal law, not state law. Big difference here, right? DA Fanni Willis represents the state, not the federal government. So even though the state might seem to allow for prosecution in state court, it cannot be enforced because only the federal government has the power to do so. Now, what this means is that the charges related to these actions, they have to be dropped. So we've already seen 6 charges dropped. I think we're about to see a few more dropped probably as early as next week, okay? So the brief also cites another case from the 1800s, Ross versus State, 55 GA 192, 1875. So in that case, the Georgia Supreme Court ruled that the offense contained in the document was an offense against the public justice of the United States, not just against the state of Georgia. One more case in 2008 was also used to bolster Donald Trump's argument. In People versus Hassan, this is 86 Cal Raptor 314, 323 through 24, 2008. So the state of California was prohibited from prosecution in a case related to false documents provided in connection with a federal immigration investigation. So Fanni Willis is accusing Donald Trump of directing a conspiracy to spread false claims about voter fraud. She's essentially also saying that he pressured state officials to overturn Joe Biden's win and promote a corrupt plan to win the state's 16 electoral college votes by appointing a slate of fake electors. Okay. Now, if you guys have been keeping an eye on the news, you probably already know that just I want to say it was probably there were a handful of Donald Trump's cohorts who have been just recently indicted related to this fake elector scheme in Arizona. So Donald Trump and 18 others were indicted in August of 2023 for interfering in the 2020 Georgia presidential election. 4 of Donald Trump's co-defendants have already entered guilty pleas and essentially made deals with the Fulton County District Attorney's Office. But thanks to the effort of Donald Trump's attorney, Steve Sadow and Jennifer Little, some of the charges against Donald Trump and the others may already have been dropped. Or I should say have already been dropped. Those are the 6 charges that we just mentioned. So just last month, you've got Scott McAfee, which is the judge over the case. He dismissed 6 counts of the violation of oath by a public officer, including 3 against the former president, saying that those counts did not spell out clearly how actions violated the law. So Fanni Willis basically dropped the ball, and Donald Trump ended up getting 6 charges dropped real fast. All right. Then, of course, the remaining 35 counts include racketeering, false statements and writings impersonating a public officer, conspiracy to commit computer theft, perjury, and forgery, right? So Fulton County's DA, Fanni Willis, she's hoping to bring Donald Trump and the remaining defendants to trial August of this year. But the trial got delayed because of the controversy that they uncovered about Fanni Willis's relationship with her former special prosecutor, Nathan Wade. And because of the numerous motions that have been filed in connection to this case, well, that kind of gummed up a whole lot of stuff. So right now, we really don't know exactly when Donald Trump might actually go to trial for Georgia. Possibly never. In fact, they could possibly even put this off until the end of the election. And of course, by then, we'll kind of have to see where they'll be with Trump possibly being the president of the United States at that point. But hey, Fanni Willis, she didn't get to where she's at by not having a little bit of political savviness herself, right? So this is probably why Fanni Willis is in retreat mode right now. So for starters, when asked about this new brief filing from Donald Trump's legal team, a spokesman for Fanni Willis declined to comment. Could it be because they're scared of, that they're going to lose? Now, former U.S. Attorney Joyce Vance, she seems to think so. Writing in her Substack blog, Civil Discourse, Vance speculated about how the Fulton County District Attorney might react to the former president's latest legal move. And according to her, Fanni Willis is very likely to be very dismissive about the attempt by Donald Trump to drop 2 charges in his Georgia election interference case. Commenting on the legal move made by Steve Sadow and Little, Vance called his theory novel and said it looked like a delay tactic. And like I said earlier, a delay in the case is probably going to be to Donald Trump's advantage, especially if he ends up winning this presidential election. So Vance says she's going to look forward to Fanni Willis's response, which she said is likely to be very dismissive. Now, Trump supporters, they put it way more bluntly, saying that Fanni will pay the price for her stupidity. Now, comment down below if y'all think that Fanni Willis is going to pay the price for her stupidity. If so, just type in, stupidity in the comments. All right. And just in case you were wondering, they also reached out to Fanni Willis for comment on this. And, well, we got nothing from Fanni Willis's office. So, surprise, surprise. And hey, I get it. If Donald Trump is successful in getting charges dropped with this new brief from Steve Sadow and Little, it will more than likely not be the first time, if you think about it, because they've already shown Fanni Willis dropping the ball in this Georgia election interference case against President Joe Biden or against President Trump already. I mean, 6 charges have already been dropped. In fact, in March, Judge Scott McAfee squashed 3 counts against Donald Trump in this case. He wrote that the lack of detail concerning an essential legal element is, in the undersigned's opinion, fatal. It's a big word. I mean, it's not a big word. It's only like 5 letters, but it holds a lot of weight is what I'm saying. And so while Donald Trump kind of wrangles with his whole Georgia election interference case, he is also facing the second week of this hush money trial, guys. I mean, it's Saturday, 6:49 p.m., April 27th. Donald Trump's going to be back in court on Monday before we know it. So Donald Trump's also facing the second week of his hush money trial in New York, which will determine whether or not he, quote unquote, falsified business records over payments allegedly facilitated by his former lawyer, Michael Cohen, to former adult film star Stormy Daniels. Now, it's claimed that these were made to keep an affair between Donald Trump and Stormy Daniels a secret before the 2016 election, as alleged in a criminal indictment. Now, Donald Trump, obviously, of course, he denies the affair, which he should, because Donald Trump has said time and time again, that this never happened. This is complete bull. Now, comment down below if you guys believe that Donald Trump never had an affair with Stormy Daniels, and you feel like Stormy Daniels has literally only been trying to extort cash out of Donald Trump. If you think Stormy Daniels is just trying to extort cash out of Donald Trump, just type in Stormy Daniels in the comment section down below. But yeah, the truth is coming out in the wash, as they say, guys, and more truth will continue to come out, in my opinion. Now, Donald Trump is also facing 2 other indictments, a federal indictment about alleged election interference and one concerning the manner in which he kept classified documents after leaving the White House. So that one's being brought about by Jack Smith in Florida. So he has maintained his innocence in all of these cases. So considering all of this, it's kind of hard not to see election interference and the political witch hunt that Donald Trump and his team have been claiming all along. But hey, props to our former president, Donald Trump, 77 years old and standing up to all of this, right? Standing up to all of this. Meanwhile, managing his family, managing his business, or I should say maintaining his family, managing his businesses, and running for the presidency in spite of all of this being thrown at him. You want to talk about stamina? I mean, Joe Biden can barely stay awake for 4 hours a day, let alone battle all this crap that's being thrown at him. So I don't know. Props for our president. Props to the president, Donald Trump, for being able to stand up to all of this and continuing to be able to successfully swing these cases out of the park. I mean, it's just plain amazing how they just keep trying to throw cases at this man. And like I said, Donald Trump just keeps on hitting him out of the park, right? And of course, it doesn't hurt to have Steve the Pitbull Sadow on your legal team, right? In fact, some are even claiming, they're already claiming that Steve Sadow should be the attorney general in the new Donald Trump administration. What do y'all think about that? And so where will Fulton DA Fanni Willis be? Probably still in full retreat after her loss to Donald Trump in Georgia. So anyway, more to come, guys. Fulton County DA Fanni Willis declining a campaign debate, and her office asking for the appeals court to reject Donald Trump's appeal to get her disqualified. We're going to look further and further into Fanni Willis's retreat going forward. So, definitely a lot more to come on future videos. Let me jump in the comments and see what you guys are saying. What is going on? Beautifully Inappropriate says Starbucks for Fanny. Okay. Don C says Steve Sadow would be good. Let's see. Catalia says, God's got Trump. A lot of people are saying Stormy Daniels in the comments. Stormy Daniels. Yeah, a lot of you guys are saying Stormy Daniels in the comments. Yeah. Donald Trump 2024. Jody Samurai says she's already shown her Fanny side. Oh man. Let's see. I'm Lurking says Fanni Willis should have been disbarred long ago. I don't see her going anywhere from that judge. Yeah, I really don't see the judge taking the corrective action that needs to be taken. Let's just put it that way. It's probably going to end up going to a higher court for them to, remove her from the case. Yeah, let's see. Trireme says Stormy extortion. Jody Samurai says NC is MAGA country. Yeah. Don Polachek says, I've been saying Haba should be Donald Trump's AG for a while now. Hey, that's a good call. I feel like, let's just say Donald Trump wins the 2024 election. I would not be shocked to see Donald Trump put Alina Haba or Steve Sadow in as the attorney general. Comment down below. Who do you think would make the better attorney general? Let's just assume Donald Trump wins the 2024 presidential election, right? Who would you say would make the better attorney general? Alina Haba or Steve Sadow? Just comment either one in the comments down below. If you think Alina Haba would be a better AG, type in Alina Haba. If you think Steve Sadow would be a better pick to be the attorney general, type in Steve Sadow. All right, guys, I got more to come for you guys in a future video. If you haven't already, do hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. Thank you so much for sharing these videos on Facebook and Twitter, and I'm gonna see you on the next one.